9 signs you are quietly accumulating blessings without realizing it. Dear friend, in the cycle of human existence, amid the hustle and bustle of life, have you ever paused to reflect? What am I living for? Do the hurried steps and endless ambitions truly bring peace to the soul? The ancients taught, virtue can overcome fate. Blessings are not predetermined by the heavens, but are created through our actions, thoughts, and hearts. Sometimes, we unknowingly accumulate blessings because our kindness stems not from calculation, but from a sincere soul. These are the moments when we live for meaning, for something greater, not merely for personal gain. Life, whether long or short, rich or poor, leaves behind one enduring legacy: the blessings we create for the world and others. The signs that you are quietly accumulating blessings are not distant or abstract. They lie in the small, everyday habits and actions. If you pause to reflect, join me on this journey to explore 9 signs that you are unknowingly building blessings. Each sign is not just a lesson, but a gentle reminder. When you live with kindness, the universe quietly returns gifts of equal worth. For blessings are the light that guides us toward a peaceful life, transcending the suffering of human existence. 1. Giving without expecting repayment. Giving without expecting repayment is a noble quality, a guiding light for kind souls in a world often filled with competition and calculation. When you give something to the world without seeking return, your action is not merely a sharing of material things, but a spreading of love, understanding, and compassion. The ancients said, "Those who give endure forever." The value of giving lies not in what you give, but in how you give, with a selfless heart, free of calculation or attachment. In Buddhist philosophy, giving from the heart is considered the greatest act of accumulating blessings. By giving without expectation, you transcend the ego's selfishness and reach the highest state of inner peace, a heart vast enough to be unburdened by personal gain or the hope of reciprocation. Giving is not limited to material things. It encompasses profound spiritual values. It could be a timely word of encouragement, a compassionate glance, a warm smile, or simply your sincere presence for someone in need. These seemingly small acts carry the power to transform lives. Remarkably, when you give without expecting anything in return, you sow seeds of goodness. Though invisible, these seeds take root in the hearts of others, rippling outward to touch the world. Yet, in today's society, many mistakenly believe that giving must be met with equal repayment to feel fair. This mindset erodes selflessness, turning giving into a conditional transaction. But if you understand that every act of giving builds blessings for yourself, you will no longer dwell on gain or loss. The universe has its own way of working. Good deeds return, perhaps not from the recipient, but through another path, at another time. A meaningful story tells of a poor farmer. Despite having little, he shared his meager rice with those even needier than himself, giving without hesitation or expectation. For him, the recipient's joy was the greatest reward. Years later, when he fell gravely ill, those he had helped rallied to save him. Some brought medicine, others cared for his daily needs. He overcame his illness not only through their aid, but also through the blessings he had quietly accumulated over his lifetime. Life is like a vast mirror, reflecting what you give. When you offer with a selfless heart, you plant seeds of goodness that, one day, you or your loved ones will reap. Giving never impoverishes you. Rather, it enriches your soul, helping you grasp the profound meaning of existence. Ultimately, giving without expecting repayment is the highest expression of compassion, a sign of a mature soul, and a way to leave a lasting, beautiful mark on the world. 2. Knowing when to stay silent and when to speak. Knowing when to stay silent and when to speak is a profound life lesson, reflecting maturity and wisdom. Words hold immense power. They can build beautiful relationships or destroy them if wielded carelessly. Thus, understanding when to speak and when to remain silent is an art of living and a sign that you are quietly accumulating blessings. Silence is not weakness or avoidance, but a mark of composure, a compassionate heart, and a clear mind. When faced with baseless criticism or gossip, choosing silence over hasty defense or retaliation shields your soul from unnecessary harm. Silence at the right moment preserves inner peace and avoids entanglement in fruitless disputes. However, silence is not always the best choice. Remaining silent in the face of injustice or wrongdoing can signal indifference or irresponsibility. Thus, knowing whether to speak or stay silent requires mindfulness, an understanding of the context, and clarity of purpose. When you speak, let your words come from the heart, bringing positive value. When you remain silent, do so with peace, free of resentment or anger. A story about a Zen master and a young man offers a profound lesson. The young man asked, "Master, how can I avoid being hurt by gossip?" The master smiled, poured a cup of tea, and replied, "If someone offers you a gift, but you don't accept it, who does the gift belong to?" The young man answered, "The giver." The master said, "Exactly. Criticism is like the gift. If you don't accept it, it cannot belong to you." This story reveals the power of silence. By not letting negative words touch your mind, you protect the blessings in your life. Truth shines like the sun, needing no argument or proof. In time, what is right will naturally prevail. Silence is not just restraint, but a way to express compassion and wisdom amid life's noise. If you master timely silence, you create a space of peace within your soul and sow seeds of blessings for yourself and those around you. 3. Forgiving those who don't know how to apologize. Forgiving those who don't know how to apologize is a noble act, reflecting compassion and emotional maturity. Forgiveness is not about submission or weakness. It is a way to free yourself from the burdens of resentment and pain. When you forgive someone who doesn't apologize, you're not only helping them but also granting yourself peace. Resentment is like a smoldering fire. It not only burns others but also destroys you. Holding on to hurts caused by others traps you in a cycle of bitterness, preventing your soul from finding peace. But when you forgive, you cut those binding cords. Forgiveness is liberation, opening a new path for you to move forward with lightness and serenity. However, forgiving someone unaware of their fault is no easy task. People often forgive only when they receive a sincere apology. But life doesn't always unfold as we wish. Some never recognize their wrongs, or they deliberately avoid apologizing. Forgiving them doesn't mean condoning or excusing their actions. It reflects the greatness of your soul. The ancients said, "Repay evil with kindness, and resentment will dissolve." Forgiveness isn't about making others feel better. It's about freeing yourself from the cycle of suffering. It's also a way to teach others about compassion and nobility. By forgiving their faults, you plant a seed of goodness in their hearts, which may one day sprout. A story tells of a man betrayed by his close friend. Instead of seeking revenge, he chose forgiveness. When asked why, he smiled and said, "I don't want to become a bitter person because of what they did to me." Forgiveness kept his soul pure and peaceful. Years later, his friend realized his mistake and returned to apologize. Forgiveness not only brought the man peace but also awakened the conscience of the wrongdoer. Forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it surely shapes a better future. Those who live with a forgiving heart are lighter and more at peace, unburdened by negative emotions. Forgiveness is a sign you're building blessings as you spread goodness and love into the world. Remember, forgiveness is a gift, not for others, but for yourself. It's the key to unlocking happiness and peace, guiding you out of the darkness of anger and resentment toward the light of tranquility and love. 4. Recognizing and correcting harmful habits. Recognizing and correcting harmful habits is one of life's most challenging yet rewarding journeys. We all have flaws and bad habits buried within us. This isn't something to fear. Nobody is perfect. What matters is whether we recognize these flaws and dare to confront them. When you muster the courage to identify and change your harmful habits, you're accumulating blessings and elevating your own worth. Life is full of imperfections, but these imperfections are opportunities for growth. Mistakes and failures aren't the end, they're valuable lessons. When you pause to reflect on your harmful habits, perhaps careless words that hurt others, impatience, or a tendency to judge, you take a vital step toward becoming a better version of yourself. The ancients said, "Humans are born with an inherently good nature." Though our essence is kind, life's circumstances and environments can lead us to develop negative habits. Correcting these habits isn't about achieving perfection, but returning to our original goodness. It's a journey from awareness to action, from deep self-reflection to gradual, daily change. Correcting harmful habits benefits not only you, but also fosters compassion for others' mistakes. When you acknowledge your own errors and weaknesses, you're more likely to understand and forgive others. This compassion creates a flow of goodness, spreading love and kindness to those around you. A story tells of a Zen master renowned for his peace and compassion. A young man asked, "Master, how can I overcome my habit of anger?" The master smiled, pointed to a large tree in the courtyard, and said, "Try uprooting that tree." The young man, puzzled, replied, "Master, its roots are too deep. How could I possibly uproot it?" The master calmly responded, "Your bad habits are like that tree. The longer you let them grow, the deeper their roots. Start early, little by little, and you can uproot them. Don't wait until they become an immovable giant." The lesson is clear. The sooner you recognize and address harmful habits, the easier it is to change and build blessings. This journey doesn't demand haste or instant perfection. By staying mindful, improving bit by bit, and striving to be better, you create a more meaningful life. Recognizing harmful habits is the first step. Correcting them is the true challenge. Change requires willpower, patience, and sincerity. When you succeed, you not only become a better person, but those around you also benefit from the positive energy you radiate. Remember, mistakes don't define you, but how you correct them does. Life doesn't demand perfection, just the courage to face your flaws, change, and continually improve. This is how you build lasting, meaningful blessings. 5. Being grateful for the small things. In today's world, where people are swept up in endless ambitions and desires, pausing to appreciate life's simple things is rare but immensely valuable. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting act, it's a state of the soul. It's recognizing that everything you have, no matter how small, is a gift from life. By opening your heart, you'll see that gratitude doesn't require grand things. It might be a warm meal, the clothes you wear, or refreshing rain after days of heat. When you're grateful for these, you're quietly accumulating blessings, as gratitude is the seed of peace and happiness. Why do people often forget gratitude? The answer is simple: greed. Once we achieve what we want, we easily overlook past efforts and blessings, always craving more. This endless pursuit erodes the soul. Try pausing to appreciate what you have rather than what you lack. Only then will you truly grasp the value of gratitude. A story tells of a wealthy but unhappy man. Despite having everything others envied, he felt anxious and preoccupied with what he hadn't achieved. One day, he met a sage who said, "Write down everything you have and be grateful for it." Following this advice, the man realized he had countless blessings he'd never noticed. From then on, he felt lighter and happier, no longer consumed by unattained goals. Gratitude is more than a feeling, it's an action. When you're grateful, you cherish and preserve what you have while being willing to share with others. Gratitude is the foundation of contentment, and contentment unlocks inner peace. Practice gratitude daily. Each morning, think of 3 things you're thankful for: your health, family, or simply waking up to a new day. When gratitude becomes a habit, you'll see life isn't as harsh as you once thought. Remember, life isn't measured by what you possess, but by how you value what you have. Gratitude is a form of blessing. When you practice it, you'll realize your life is far richer and more fulfilling than you ever imagined. 6. Letting go of negative thoughts. Letting go of negative thoughts is one of the most crucial steps toward living peacefully and accumulating blessings. In every person's mind, negative thoughts are like a small demon, always waiting to invade the soul and control our actions. When you let these thoughts dominate, they not only drain your mental energy, but also harm your health, relationships, and future. Releasing them is not easy, but it's how you free yourself from the invisible chains of the mind. Negative thoughts often stem from minor situations: a failure at work, a careless remark from someone, or just a bad day. These gradually build up, forming a vicious cycle of worry, pessimism, and self-blame. The more you dwell in these thoughts, the easier it is to lose faith in yourself and life. The good news is that you can change how you think. Letting go of negative thoughts doesn't mean denying sadness or frustration. Those are natural human emotions. The key is learning to face and transform them instead of letting your mind spiral into unnecessary worry. Practice viewing problems more objectively. The ancients said, "One thought can lead to paradise, another to hell." A positive thought can bring peace, while a negative one can plunge you into endless suffering. Try replacing each negative thought with a positive one. When haunted by a mistake, tell yourself, "I'm allowed to err, and I can correct it." When you feel someone is unfair, think, "They're human too, perhaps under pressures I don't see." These small shifts in mindset help you regain control over your mind and emotions. A story tells of a man plagued by negative thoughts. Seeking advice, he visited a sage. The sage handed him an empty glass and asked him to fill it with water. When the glass was full, the sage asked, "If I keep pouring, what will happen?" The man replied, "The water will spill over." The sage smiled and said, "Negative thoughts are like the water in this glass. When your mind is overflowing with them, they spill out and harm you. Learn to empty them to make room for positivity." Letting go of negative thoughts is not only a path to happiness, but also a way to create blessings. Each time you replace a bad thought with a good one, you plant a seed of kindness in your mind. These seeds will grow and bear fruit in your life. By living positively, you attract positive things. Remember, your thoughts shape your life. When you choose to release negativity and nurture positivity, you transform yourself and build a meaningful, blessed life. 7. Relying on ability, not luck. While many spend their lives hoping for luck to change their fate, the wise understand that ability is the true determining factor. When you rely on yourself, making steady efforts and building skills, you not only create a stable life but also cultivate lasting blessings. Luck is like a fleeting breeze. It may come unexpectedly but never lasts. Those who depend on luck live passively, leaving their lives to external forces. They believe a single stroke of fortune will make everything easy, forgetting that no success is sustainable without a foundation of hard work and effort. This is why, even if luck strikes temporarily, those without ability often fall back into hardship. In contrast, those who rely on their abilities live proactively and responsibly. They don't wait for luck to knock, but focus on self-improvement, gaining knowledge, skills, and experience daily. Though the path may be tough, they move forward with determination, knowing that what they achieve through their own efforts is truly enduring. Picture life as a river. Those who wait for luck are like people in a boat without oars, hoping the current will carry them to shore. But rivers aren't always calm. When the current turns, their boat drifts aimlessly. Meanwhile, those who rely on ability hold the oars, ready to steer through any storm. A story tells of two brothers born into poverty. The older dreamed of changing his life through a lottery win, while the younger dedicated himself to studying and working tirelessly. Years later, the older brother, still waiting for luck, lived in want and uncertainty. The younger, though never winning a lottery, built a solid career through ability and perseverance. True fortune came not from tickets but from his hands and mind. Living by your ability not only creates a sustainable life but also brings peace of mind. When you don't depend on luck, you're free from the stress of uncertainty. You know your achievements are within your control, fostering confidence and security. More importantly, each day you strive, you quietly build blessings. These blessings are sown through hard work, sweat, and unwavering resolve. The universe operates fairly. Those who work diligently and live responsibly will always reap deserved rewards, sooner or later. Remember, luck may help you once, but ability sustains you for life. By relying on your capabilities, you create a meaningful life and inspire self-reliance in others. This is how you make life better, richer in blessings for yourself and the world. 8. Willing to sacrifice for the greater good. The ancients said, "Lose one step, gain 1,000 miles." Sacrificing for others is not weakness or inferiority, but a sign of deep understanding of life's lasting values. Those willing to sacrifice set aside their small egos, transcending selfish desires for a higher purpose. When you sacrifice for the greater good, you not only build a harmonious community but also plant seeds of kindness in others' hearts. A story from ancient times tells of a renowned craftsman summoned by the king to build a grand bridge. Throughout the project, he poured his heart into the work and sacrificed personal gain to ensure the safety of his workers. When the bridge was complete, instead of taking credit, he honored everyone involved. Though the king's reward was less than expected, he harbored no resentment. Later, when he faced hardship, those he had helped rallied to support his family. His sacrifice created blessings not only for him but for generations after. Accepting loss for the greater good reflects the ability to let go of ego, a feat few achieve. When you stop obsessing over recognition or praise, your heart feels lighter. The true reward lies not in others' acknowledgement, but in the peace you feel knowing you did right. The ancients said, "Good and evil will find their due. No matter how far they fly, they cannot hide." When you sacrifice for the common good, you lose nothing, for the heavens have their own way of balancing things. However, sacrificing doesn't mean letting others exploit or undervalue you. It must come from a willing heart, not reluctance or pressure. It's a meaningful choice for a greater purpose, not blind endurance. Those who sacrifice for the greater good often earn respect and love from others. Though their efforts may go unnoticed in the moment, the goodness they sow will return to them or their descendants as the universe restores balance. Remember, life isn't always about winning or losing. A small sacrifice for the greater good can make a profound difference in others' hearts. Sometimes, the loss you accept today is the greatest gift you give yourself: peace, love, and enduring blessings for the future. 9. Accumulating blessings through small acts. Accumulating blessings through small acts is a profound philosophy of life, reminding us that goodness doesn't always require grand gestures, but can stem from the simplest daily actions. Life doesn't measure blessings by the scale or grandeur of deeds, but by the sincerity and meaning you infuse into them. Every good act, no matter how small, is a seed of kindness that quietly takes root and yields unexpected rewards in the future. In our fast-paced world, we often overlook small things. Yet, these small acts form the foundation of a meaningful life and a peaceful soul. A friendly smile, a sincere greeting, or a small gesture of help can brighten someone's day. These actions not only bring joy to others, but also warm your own heart. The ancients taught, "Good and evil will find their due." This applies not only to grand deeds, but to every thought and small action. When you choose not to harm anyone or anything, you accumulate blessings for yourself. Going further, doing good through small acts sows the seeds for a brighter future. A story tells of a poor woman in a rural village. Every day, she placed a bowl of rice and some water by the roadside for hungry travelers. Her act was modest, but over the years, it became a source of comfort for laborers far from home. One day, she suffered an accident and was saved by a passerby, who turned out to be someone who had once received her small bowl of rice. The blessings she accumulated through her humble acts returned meaningfully, saving her life. Accumulating blessings is neither lofty nor out of reach. It's how you live each day with kindness and love. Don't wait for grand opportunities to do good. Every small act, kind word, or positive thought is a brick in building a peaceful life. Remember, blessings come not only from what you do, but from how you treat those around you. Sometimes, listening to someone's sorrows, giving up your seat on a bus, or helping a stranger find their way is enough to create a blessing. When you do these small things, not for recognition, but because they feel right, you're quietly accumulating blessings. Life is a long chain of small moments woven together. When you pay attention to these details and seize every chance to do good, life becomes more meaningful. These acts don't just change others, they transform you, helping you live a fuller, more peaceful, and blessed life. Conclusion. Dear friend, life is like a river, and every action, thought, and word we offer creates ripples that spread endlessly. When you choose to live with kindness, sowing seeds of love, compassion, and generosity, you're not only accumulating blessings for yourself, but also beautifying the river of humanity. The signs of building blessings aren't always obvious, but they quietly manifest in how you face life. Giving without expecting return, knowing when to stay silent, forgiving and correcting mistakes, and cherishing the smallest things. This is the way of living the ancients spoke of. Those who plant trees reap their fruit. With an open heart, you gain peace and leave a precious legacy for future generations. Remember, blessings aren't distant or lofty. They're in what you do every day, however small. From how you treat those around you to how you overcome life's challenges, everything contributes to lasting blessings. By living with kindness, you not only enrich yourself, but also bring light to the world. Live a life worth living, not through wealth or fame, but through the beautiful marks you leave in others' hearts. That is the greatest blessing, the light that guides you and those around you. Sow kindness, reap peace. This is the eternal law of life.